Hi, it's D.Alloca for Donna Downey's Stencil Mania. For this project, I decided to play around with my jelly printing plate and the stencils, and just to see what happens. So I have an oversized jelly print plate that I used, and I cut out some of my own stencils, some long rectangle strips and some circles. I'm not sure really what I was going to use, so I just kept it all handy. I decided to hinge my paper so that it would be kind of in registration every time I printed. So I had one on the right hand side and one on the left, and to hinge it you just place the paper on top of the jelly print, use a nice long strip of tape, and just fold it back, and that way you've created a hinge to go back and forth with. It will keep it in registration, kind of, not exact. So I decided to just play around with color and add a little of this and that, and you'll see in this process that I didn't use the best of paints because I really didn't expect to have a great project when I was done. I was just playing, and if anything, these will just get cut up and used in a journal or to play with later on. So I'm going to go back and forth with paint, and you'll see what happens. So the reason why I have two sheets of paper is so you'll see when I do this, the next step, I make the stripes. It's so I'm not wasting paint, and I kind of have a positive print and a negative print, one that's opposite than the other one, just to give variety and, you know, just to play, because the best part of this is just playing. Okay, you can see I had one of those what now moments. So I went in and used copper, and then this is Donna's Scribble Script stencil, and then because it's not as big as the plate, I just shielded the bottom. And when I rubbed it through, it didn't really work the way I thought. I kind of got specks, but I liked the second print. So what I'm doing on the top corner there is just getting the excess paint off of the stencils, and that paper could be used later on too. So I like the way it came out on the one on the left better than the one on the right. I'm kind of cleaning off the stencil with an extra scrap piece of paper too, and then using the scrap piece of paper as a shield. You can clean up your brayer and the jelly plate with a baby wipe. It works really well. So there I'm taking out the stencil that is flowers, floral and striped vase, and I'm kind of figuring out where the colors might go, and I put way too much paint on the plate, and I ended up with a big goopy mess, and I ended up peeling, and the color was horrible, and I just ended up peeling it back off with some scrap paper, and then it's paint on paper. I'll use it at some other time for something else as a background or to cut up. And then I realized small bits of paint, and then I went in with smaller bits of paint. I was really liking the way the print on the left was coming out. When I rubbed here and got the print, there really was no definition, so I figured, oh, just put a little white on and let's do it again. I mean, it's just a process of back and forth for this. You don't really know what you're going to get, you just gotta play. So now that pulled a print that'll probably be usable at some other point. There was still paint on the plate, so I got more scrap paper and started printing. I grabbed a blue sheet of paper, and because it was white paint, I just got the excess paint off of the blue paper, and again, maybe that'll be used at some other point. So I ended up with a collection of papers that I can work from, and I decided to take the one that was on the left-hand side and just do some more hand coloring onto it. So I hinged down the stencil onto the paper I did it with and just started to play with color and add some more detail. Thanks for watching. Have fun, go play with your jelly plate and your stencils and see what happens.